A luxury boutique manager believed she could humiliate Sandra Bullock for dressing too casually, never realizing who she was dealing with. But when Keanu Reeves walked in, he did something that left everyone speechless. You won't believe how this story ends. What happened next turned into a scandal no one saw coming. Before we dive into the story, let us know where you're watching from. And if you love stories like this, subscribe to the channel because tomorrow we have another special one just for you. Eloise Paris wasn't just any store. It was a sanctuary for the ultra-wealthy, a place where ordinary people simply didn't belong. Behind its discreet facade lay a lavish interior, filled with genuine leather seating, imported rugs, and shelves showcasing exclusive pieces from the most renowned designer brands. Everything inside screamed exclusivity, from the woody scent lingering in the air to the champagne served only to the right customers. Even the soft instrumental jazz playing in the background seemed to whisper, "If you have to ask the price, you don't belong here." And the one ensuring these unwritten rules were enforced? Helena, the boutique manager. With eyes as sharp as a blade, nothing escaped her notice. If someone who didn't fit walked in, she would spot them in seconds. Her black tailored dress, designer heels, and impeccable posture weren't just fashion, they were armor. She wasn't selling clothes. She was selling status. And she would do whatever it took to protect the boutique's reputation. Then, the soft chime of the doorbell rang. A woman stepped inside. Anywhere else, she wouldn't have stood out. She wore a plain white hoodie, simple sweatpants, and a black cap that concealed much of her face. Her brown hair was casually tied in a bun, sunglasses shielding her eyes, making it hard to recognize her. But here, in this boutique, where luxury and extravagance were the only languages spoken, she stood out, and not in a good way. Helena, who had been adjusting a diamond necklace for one of the VIP clients, froze for just a second. Her sharp gaze locked onto the new arrival. She didn't need to think. A tourist. One of those women who wandered in, snapped a few photos, and left without buying anything. And that was not allowed in her store. Without hesitation, Helena took a step forward, walking toward the entrance. Clara, the young assistant behind the counter, watched closely. She already knew what was about to happen. And the audience, those who knew the truth, could feel the injustice unfolding. Sandra moved leisurely through the boutique, scanning the displays, letting her fingers brush against the delicate fabrics of the exclusive pieces. She loved fashion, always had. But she despised the games of superiority some people played with it. "Can I help you?" The voice came from behind her, polite but cold. Sandra turned to see a tall, flawless woman standing before her. "Oh, thank you. I'm just looking." Helena's smile stayed, but the decision was already made in her mind. "I see. Just so you know, we only carry exclusive, made-to-measure pieces. Nothing here is placed on display by chance." The subtle condescension in her voice carried a clear message. This place is not for you. Sandra pressed her lips together slightly. "I imagine it's not." Helena tilted her head slightly, caught off guard by the response. Maybe she got the hint and will leave now, she thought. But no. Sandra stayed. Then, as if testing the manager's patience, she reached for a dress on the rack, one of the most exclusive pieces from the new collection, priced so high that only a select few could afford it. She examined it carefully. That was enough for Helena. With a discreet motion, she signaled to Clara. "Keep an eye on that woman." Clara hesitated. "But why?" Helena sighed, as if the answer should be obvious. "Clara, she might ruin the experience for our real customers." Clara didn't reply, but something inside her twisted with discomfort. The wrong person was being judged, and she had no idea what was coming next. Sandra kept browsing unhurried. But now, the stares on her intensified. Two VIP clients whispered from a nearby sofa. "Did you see that woman? How did she even get in here? A hoodie and a cap, she looks like a lost tourist." The murmurs weren't loud enough for Sandra to hear, but she felt them. It was always the same game. Sandra, however, never reacted immediately. She waited. She observed. Helena, on the other hand, had had enough. She wouldn't let her exclusive clients feel uncomfortable with the presence of someone who clearly didn't belong. It was time to put an end to this. With firm steps, she walked over and stopped beside Sandra. "Ma'am," she said, her trained smile in place. "I noticed you like that dress." Sandra turned, unfazed. "Yes, it's beautiful." "I agree. But perhaps I could suggest something that better suits your style?" Sandra raised an eyebrow. "My style?" Helena's smile remained, but her posture stiffened.
Yes.
"We have more casual pieces. Something that might make you feel more comfortable." Clara, watching from the counter, felt her heart race. She had seen Helena do this before. But this time, something was different. Sandra gave a small, knowing smile. "You think I wouldn't be comfortable in this?" Helena blinked, surprised for the second time that day. Something in this woman's gaze set off a small alarm inside her. "I just meant, you think I can't afford it?" The boutique fell into a stunned silence. Some attendants looked away, pretending to rearrange the shelves. VIP clients, who had been whispering moments ago, now listened in absolute silence. Clara held her breath. Helena, however, was not the type to back down. "Ma'am, I was simply suggesting something more appropriate." Sandra studied her for a moment. Then she did something no one expected. She laughed.
Soft.
Controlled. But a laugh nonetheless. A chill ran down Helena's spine. "I see." Sandra continued browsing, picking up a black silk dress. Elegant, luxurious, with an exorbitant price tag. Helena's eyes locked onto her instantly. She took a slow breath, approached Sandra, and examined her once more. Then, with a venomous, condescending smile, she said, "Are you sure you want to try on that dress?" Sandra raised an eyebrow, but remained silent. Helena continued, not giving her time to process. "This particular design requires a certain posture, a grace that brings out its natural elegance. And, of course, the right accessories." Her gaze flickered to Sandra's casual outfit, her hoodie, her cap. Then Helena let out a quiet, amused chuckle. "I could suggest something more appropriate for your profile." Sandra caught the insult instantly. And now, she was sure Helena had no idea who she was dealing with. So, with a calm but piercing voice, she asked, "Funny because when I walked in, no one offered me champagne." The boutique froze. Helena's face went pale, because at that moment, she realized the truth. Sandra Bullock removed her sunglasses. The VIP clients gasped. One whispered in shock, "Oh my God," because now everyone recognized her. Sandra Bullock, the Hollywood star, one of the most powerful women in the film industry. And Helena? She had just humiliated a woman worth over $250 million.
Visage se crispait, mais avant qu'elle ne puisse tenter de sauver la face, Keanu Reeves tourna à nouveau son regard perçant vers elle. Vraiment? Demanda-t-il d'un ton posé, mais chargé d'une ironie tranchante. Helena ouvrit la bouche, cherchant désespérément quelque chose à dire, une explication, une excuse, mais aucun mot ne sortit. Elle savait qu'elle venait de commettre une erreur irréparable. Puis, lentement, Keanu secoua la tête, un léger sourire amusé aux lèvres, mais ses yeux restaient froids. Il sortit son portefeuille, sans un mot de plus, sortit sa carte noire. Il la posa sur le comptoir devant Clara, ignorant complètement Helena. « Mettez tout sur ma note », dit-il simplement. Le silence dans la boutique était devenu si pesant que l'on aurait pu entendre une épingle tomber. Clara, les mains légèrement tremblantes, prit la carte avec précaution. Helena, elle, était livide. Ce n'était pas seulement une humiliation publique, c'était une déclaration. Une déclaration que Sandra Bullock était bien plus qu'une simple cliente. Sandra, qui observait la scène avec un calme implacable, tourna enfin son regard vers Helena et lui offrit un sourire éclatant. Comme vous l'avez dit, le luxe n'est pas pour tout le monde. Cette fois, ce fut Helena qui eut du mal à respirer. L'ironie était trop mordante, trop parfaite. Puis, sans accorder un regard de plus à la manager, Sandra et Keanu quittèrent la boutique ensemble, laissant derrière eux un silence écrasant et une Helena dont la réputation venait de s'effondrer en un instant.